All right, gonna give people a minute to hop on in. Probably gotta mute my stream again. Nope, it's already muted this time. I'm thinking ahead. Give people a minute before we get started. Today, I figured we would go over not that. I'll have a whole bunch of notepads open in my thing here. I'm not sure which is which. Okay, we're gonna go over a little bit more about what variables are and how to use them. We're gonna go over the built-in lich. I don't know how I want to call it, lich feature, lich command, I guess. Check left, check right, and we're also gonna go over sleep and until loops. Am I right, Puck? Puck knows what I'm talking about. Commands. There you go. Commands. Built-in lich commands. Well, I guess built-in lich variables, technically. I don't know. Something like that. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out as we go along. Okay. Anyways, okay. So first thing I figure we should go over, because that's how awesome I am, is a little bit more about variables. Okay, so I went over, again, the very bare basics of what a variable was. It just stores information and how you set a variable. Okay, here's a little bit more. Let's have a variable here. We call it test. Test equals, I don't know, I don't know, some random name. How about random? There you go. Test equals the word random. There you go. Perfect. So now what you might want to do is variables basically have two states. They're either they either have a value, in this case random, which means it's true, or they don't have a value, it's nil. So what you can do, let's say you don't care what the variable is, what value it has. All you care about is if it has a value. You can do that by doing this. You can say, let's, for example, echo this variable has a value if test. So this means you just do something like this. If test. No command, if test equals this, test doesn't equal that, just if test. You're just saying, okay, does the variable test have a value? In this case, it does, has the value random. So let's see what it does if we run this script now. And see, it echoed this variable has a value because that's what we want. That's what we wanted it to echo if it has a value. We can make anything. It could be just, the number one, and it'll still do the same thing because it has a value. But now let's say it doesn't have a value. Now, is there a difference between nil and false? I believe so. I can't think of it off the top of my head. Nil, Puck is asking, is there a difference between nil and false? Nil means it has no value. I forget off the top of my head. I can't think right now what false. I'm trying to think what false would be. I guess maybe it's the same thing, but I know for a fact nil means it has no value. So let's go back to the script. Now, so let's say the nil either means it has no value. That could either be because when you do like this, let's say you want to nil, it's called nil. Well, I call it nilling out. I don't know, that's the technical term for it. Nilling out a variable. You just say, like, for example, test equals nil. That means you're making it nil. You're saying it has no value. Another instance where a variable can have no value is if you never set it to begin with. I don't think you could do that with regular variables, but like a global variable or instance variable, if you never set it to begin with, well, then it has no value because you never gave it a value to begin with. But here, now we do test equals nil. So now this would be false because test does not have a value. It has a value of nil. So let's see what it does. Let's see. This should, if I know what I'm talking about, which I don't usually, but it does nothing at all because we're looking for if test has a value, but it does not. We made it have no value. If you want to check if it has no value, you can either do test equals nil. Yeah, I don't know. That's what I used to do, but I kind of like, you also do this test.nil. It's a lot, I don't know, just a lot cleaner in my opinion. If test.nil, for example, so just do .nil question mark. I mean, you're asking it, is this nil? Then in this case, this variable has no value because it's nil. because it has the value of nil. And see, this variable has no value because we're asking it to look if it has no value. You can also just see what happens if you just echo the value. If you just echo this variable here, it should show nothing. Echo test, so it should just show up as nothing because there's nothing to echo. It has a value of nil. I'm trying to think of where be equal. Where sometimes, like Puck asks, if it equals false, it could say false instead of true. I guess I don't know. Maybe can you just make it equal false? I don't know. Maybe some people like that. I know I've seen variables equal false. I can't think of why I would equal that though off the top of my head. Maybe it's the same thing. Maybe just equal false. That could be it too. I guess. Let's find out. So yeah, okay, yeah. So false. If you set it to false, it's the same thing as setting it to nil. I guess some people might like a false. Maybe that's easier to remember. True, false. So it's the same thing. Wait, it echoed nothing though, didn't it? It didn't do anything. Oh, it didn't echo it. So no, that's not true. I just realized that. It didn't echo it back. So no, it's not. So no, false is not equal nil apparently. Okay, so ignore what I just said about true false. You have to make it equal nil if you want to check for nil. Okay, so my bad about that, guys. So anyways, so equal nil has no value, true has a value. Now let's say you want to make a comparison. We'll put test back to just random, it's random word. Let's say you want to see if the variable has a particular value. You do echo this variable is equal to the word random. If test equals random. See, when you do two equal signs like this, you're asking, okay, does this variable equal this, whatever you're doing? It doesn't have to be one word. It could be a whole string, whole sentence. It could be an integer, whatever. But for now, we're just doing just the word random. Is this variable, is it equal to the word random? And it is, so it should echo that back. Let's find out. And see, it is because it's equal to the word random. That's what we asked it. Let's say it was not equal to random. Let's say it's just some random gibberish like that. It's just random gibberish. Okay, so echo this if it's equal to random, and it shouldn't do anything because this variable is not equal to the word random. And see, it did absolutely nothing at all because it's not equal to. Now we can also do, let's say you're asking the script to see if it is not equal to this. So, okay, now usually in Ruby, exclamation mark usually means like not, basically. So is the variable test not, exclamation mark, not equal to random? And this should be true because test equals this gibberish. It does not equal the word random. So this should just echo this back, which is just, whatever. Leave it what it says. Point is that it's echoing it back. And see, it echoed that word back because we asked it to check if it is not equal to the word random. And it's not equal. But let's say we made it back random. Now, see, this is now false because test does equal random. So now we should do nothing. I mean, look at that. That's pretty amazing, guys, right? You gotta admit, right? You all admit that, right? Right. Puck especially admits that's amazing. That script works like that. Okay, so we went over equals, does not equals, true, nil. Okay, next up is a couple of lich built-in thingamajigs. These are definitions. We're gonna go over definitions later. That's more advanced what we're doing right now. It's called check left and check right. All this basically does is it checks what's in your left hand for check left and what's in your right hand for check right. So it just tracks the noun of what's in your right hand for check right and left hand for check left. So let's see what this does now. We're just echoing check right and check left. And see, they're both nil, which means it has no value because I have nothing in my hand, as you can tell by my wonderful screen here. This is not how I normally play the game. I just made it like this to hide all the other stuff, so I can make the screen as big as possible, so maybe you guys can read it easier without, you know, a bunch of junk in the way. So let's get his rune staff though. So now let's run the script. See, now check right equals rune staff. It's rune staff, and check left still equals nil, which means there's nothing in his hand. Exactly, Puck. I am blind. Now we get his pick, and now it's in his left hand, and now look at that. Look at that. It's amazing. Okay. Okay, so that's a little neat. There's a few neat things you can do with check left, check right. It's a pretty nifty thing. But let's just say you want your, for example, my rune staff. I'm going to, if I don't have a rune staff in my hand, my right hand, I'm going to get rune staff. Let's try that. Let's do if checkright dot nil, f put get my rune staff. Let's try that. So that means if there's nothing in his right hand, get his rune staff. So we run it. Oh, okay, guys, it's past midnight. Okay, look at that. Nothing in his right hand. Got his rune staff. Now let's try to run it again. There's already something in his right hand. This is what if we run it again. What's going to happen? Nothing, because it's already in his right hand. Now, see, here's the thing, though. What we have now, it's only going to look for, again, like I said, go back real quick. It just looks if the value of check right is nil, which means there's nothing in his hand. Now, that also means that if I get my pick out, my pick is in his right hand, it's going to do nothing still, even though it's not my rune staff, because all we're doing is seeing if the right hand is nil, has no value. Exactly, yeah, you can use right hand or left hand. So let's go ahead and stow pick. Now, so this is where you want to do that whole equals things. Or not equals. Now we do if check right does not equal rune staff. And see, here's what we can do. So if check right does not equal rune staff, which means our rune staff is not in our right hand, what we can do, first thing we do f put stow right if check right. Okay, so what this means is that, okay, rune staff is not in our right hand. Okay, we want that rune staff in our right hand. It's not currently in our right hand. We got to fix this. Okay, so first thing it's going to do is going to say, okay, does check right have a value, which means something is in his right hand. It's not his rune staff. Otherwise, we wouldn't be in this bit of code here. But so therefore, we just stow. It's like, okay, whatever. Something's in our right hand. It's not a rune staff. Stow it. And then you do get my rune staff. So let's try this. First of all, let's just get our rune staff and see what happens. So now rune staff is in our right hand. What's going to happen? Nothing. We're already good. Our rune staff is in our right hand. Now let's say nothing is in our right hand. So we just run the script. It just gets rune staff. That's all I got to do. There's nothing in our right hand. Everything's great. Now let's say something else besides our rune staff is in our right hand. See, the pick is in our right hand now, which means this should stow the pick, then get a rune staff. Oh my God, it's amazing. It worked. Look at that. Look at that. And then we run it again, nothing, because it's already where we want it to be. Our rune staff is in our right hand. It's just so amazing. It's blowing my mind. Okay. So that's, I mean, again, everything I'm telling you right now about check right, it's the exact same thing for check left. It's just a different hand, you know, that's all it is, you know. So, you know, I'm not going to go over everything for check left now because just you know, it's interchangeable with check right. Okay. Now, a simple little thing you could do is wait round time with a question mark like that. And that just waits for the hard round time to be up. So if you have 5 seconds of round time left, it'll wait 5 seconds before it does all of this. Remember, I was telling you in the first video about how fput is not perfect because there could be an instance where it sees a game line before the failure line and it fails. Now you might be thinking, oh, well, I'll just do wait round time first. That way, for sure, I'm out of round time at least. But wait round time isn't perfect. There are instances where it thinks you're out of round time, but you still have another second or two. But it does cut down on, you know, your script over and over and over again being, oh, fput, you know, get my rune staff, get my rune staff, get my rune staff. When it knows you're in round time, it might not be perfect, but it'll cut down on a lot of that stuff. So so that's where it's useful. You can also do wait cast round time, and that just waits when you're out of cast round time. That's there's not as many instances where cast runtime is a problem, but still, that's in case you want to wait for that. Okay, so now what this would do is wait for we're out of it. I'm not going to show you because it'd be too much to get in round time to do all this. I could just get a bunch of silvers out of the bank, but I mean, you understand what I'm saying, right? Just wait till you add round time. Okay, and so remember, I also in the first video I said there was a better way of like for example, you want to get your rune staff in your hand, and here I'm going to show you. It's called an until loop. This is what you do until, and then you put the condition you want next. So you do until checkright equals rune staff, and then you always end an until loop with the word end. So that's our loop. So we're going to execute. So basically what you do, you're going to execute all this code. Well, there's nothing there yet, but between all the code between until and end, you're going to keep doing that code in the loop over and over and over again until this condition is met. In this case, checkright equals rune staff. So what we're going to do, pip back F. We'll do again. Start with wait round time, just to in case we're in round time, cut down a lot of nonsense. Then do fpit stow right if check right. We already know doesn't, or no, this feat does not equal rune staff. Well, whatever, just in case. So fpit stow right if check right is not equal rune staff, and then fpit get my rune staff. And then now there's a sleep command. Now what that does, it just pauses. It's just a pause. It's kind of like if you ever write scripts in, well, it used to be Stormfront, but now Wraith. I think it was called just wait there. I forget what it's called. I think it was wait. This is sleep though. You can do it in a whole second or a fraction of a second. But make sure if you do, sleep. If you do a fraction of a second, make sure it starts with 0, like Puck said. Sleep 0.1. For the most part, if you're really new to scripting, you want to get in the habit. Whenever you do a loop, remember this is a loop. You want to end the loop in at least a sleep 0.1, very minimum. Because if you don't, you might run into an issue. I mean, here it wouldn't be a problem because you're using fputs. That's going to wait until it sees a game line, anyways. But if not, if you're doing something else, whether it's not waiting for a game line, it could run into an issue where it's just constantly looping through these commands as fast as your computer can process that. That could crash your game, and it really slows down your computer. So if you're doing loops, even just a simple sleep 0.1, that's enough to make sure the script isn't going crazy, just doing that over and over and over again. This way, the most you can do is 10 times a second, which shouldn't slow your computer down at all. I mean, a modern computer can do this code 10 times a second. If you're worried, do a higher, like sleep 0.3. That'd be only 3 a second. The other thing to know is that check right and check left don't get updated in Lich instantly. It usually does. It's a fraction of a second, but it's not always instantly. So what I would do if you're doing something like this, where you're waiting until check right equals a value, do like a sleep 0.3, maybe even a sleep 0.4, to make sure sleep or the loop, the script has time to update check right before going on. I mean, that's not really that big a deal. Like it would just get rune staff. If you already have it in your right hand, it'll just do it again. But it could be an issue where, like, okay, let's say you have 2 daggers, and it's like you don't want to get your dagger out. You want to get both daggers out. You just want to get one dagger out in your right hand. If you did a sleep 0.1, it might say, okay, well, it loops back before check right is updated, so it gets your dagger again. Now you have dagger in both hands. So that might be why you want to slow down a little bit. Sleep 0.4, sleep 0.5. I usually do sleep 0.3 is usually enough. So that way it gives check right time to populate with a value before looping again. So this is what an until loop does. It'll keep doing this over and over and over and over again until this condition is met. So see, this is more useful than just doing an fput, because the fput failed for whatever reason. Like I said, you do fput get my rune staff, and that failed. You're in round time. You're stunned, and the fput thought it was successful. Now it's going to come back here, get to the end of the loop, and say, wait a minute, does check right equal rune staff? No. Wow. Let's do this all over again then. It'll keep doing that until you get your rune staff. It's kind of hard to test. I mean, it's easy to test it. I'll show you. It's kind of hard to show you what I mean by it's going to keep looping because it's just going to get my rune staff immediately. And, you know, I already have my rune staff. I mean, I guess here I'll try to show you. I'll get rid of the I'll get rid of the wait round time just to show you. You know, I'll even get rid of the F put, so it's just a put. I'll make this a little bit higher. Exactly, exactly like Lord Puck says. That's a good point. That if it's in your left hand, that's also going to be a problem. If your root staff in your left hand, keep all this stuff in mind. If it's in your left hand, it's going to get caught in a loop saying, "Oh, you know, you already have that. You already have that. You already have that. You already have that. You already have that." But I'll do that in a minute. But right now, I want to show you, since it's just a regular put, makes it a second, so it doesn't do too much. But I'll show you how it's going to keep doing this over and over and over again until you successfully get your rune staff. So let's do this. I gotta get some money. I'm gonna have someone else bring me some money because I'm lazy. I'll just there you go. So now I have 1 million. This should be now if I just lay down and try to stand up. Lay down, and now I try to stand. It could put me in round time. And then I look, see, it's going to keep getting my rune staff. It's going to keep doing this over and over and over and over and over and over again until it gets my rune staff. Isn't that amazing? Look at that. Look at that. You guys see that? Did you guys see that? Did you guys witness this absolute awesomeness? Now, like Puck was saying, if this is something you got to keep in mind, what if you already have your rune staff in your left hand and you try to do this? It's going to keep doing it because you're already having your left hand and the game keeps saying, oh, you already have that in your right hand. What you could do then is, hold on, let me give RK his silvers back. I'm sure he misses those silvers. So let me show you what you could do then. Is do until check right equals rune staff. Again, do you can do f put swap if check left equals rune staff. What you actually do here first is if check right is not equal rune staff, do that first. Stow right if check right is not equal rune staff. F hit swap if check left equals rune staff. Then we could do f hit get my rune staff if check right does not equal. So in case we're swapping here, have it check. So we're not trying to get rune staff again if it's now already in our right hand because we swapped it from our left hand. So let's see that now. So let's get rune staffs. Oops, swap. Is it in our left hand? Nope. Now it's in our left hand. So now let's see what happens now. See? Well, let me go back. I mean, let me make it look a little neater. Oh yeah, I'll go with this more. But you can do if you want more than one condition, you do 2 ampersands, which means and. You can also just do the word and. There's most of the time you want to use 2 ampersands, but there are cases where you want to use the word and. But that's a little bit more complicated we're getting into. For the most part, just use 2 ampersands. So you want 2 conditions to be met. If check right does not equal rune staff and check right, which means check right has a value. So it means move line 3 above line 2. Yeah, you can do that. Yeah, that's fine. I was just doing this because in case the person like wants their right hand free, they don't want whatever in their right hand into their left hand when they swap. So just stow right. But yeah, you guys can do how you script however you want. This is just an example of how it's going to look. So now it's only going to do stow right if check right does not equal rune staff and check right has a value. There's something in the right hand. Then it's going to swap if check left equals rune staff. And then it's only going to swap if the check left is rune staff. And then it's going to get my rune staff if check right equals nil. So let's do this now. See what this looks like. Oops. So rune staff, get rune staff, swap. It's on our left hand now. And then do 8. And see, it just swaps in our right hand. Let's say there's nothing in our hand. We're just nothing in either of our hands. Just gets rune staff. And it doesn't do the whole swap thing. Now let's say it does. Say there's a pick in our right hand, rune staff in our left hand. Now it should stow the pick, swap, and then be done. I mean, guys, you gotta admit that's pretty amazing. I just blew your collective minds how amazing and really simple that is. I mean, look how simple it is. I mean, if you think about it, I'm at a loss for words how awesome this is. So we went over a little bit more about variables, check left, check right, wait round time, wait cast round time, sleep, and an until loop. So I think that's enough for today. Again, just giving you small bites here, 15, 20, maybe 30-minute long videos. We're at 25 minutes already. Whoa, almost 26 minutes. I'm at my self-imposed cap. Gonna go ahead and call it for now. I appreciate everyone. Puck, thanks for hanging out. Keep me company, joining me. You all catch this video on YouTube. Peace out, everyone.